is only one God, and his name is death. And there is only one thing we say to death. Not today.
Hello everyone, this is Emar bringing you my first commentated Terra video for my Priest 3v3 guide. In this video guide, I'll be giving some tips that range from fairly common sense to a bit advanced. Let's begin with just explaining proper general use of some of your Priest skills. Healing skills and escape skills are pretty self-explanatory, so not much needs to be said about those, at least not in general use. There are a few neat tips and tricks that are situational that I'll get into later. Your Purifying Circle, aka Cleanse skill, also seems self-explanatory, but I'd like to add that you should spam this skill a lot. Typically, if I see a purple health bar and I don't need to heal or do something that will assist in a kill right away, I will cleanse, and it doesn't matter what the debuff is. Usually it's a movement speed slow from an auto attack, but even those can be a pain in the ass if they never get cleansed. If you keep your team mobile, they can do their job better and put out more pressure, which makes your job easier as well. It's vital to cleanse as many debuffs as you can on your team when it looks like they almost have a kill. A final side note about cleanse is that there are a few debuffs that can't be cleansed. The important ones to remember are fear skills from either a Mystic or a Berserker, Inescapable Doom from a Berserker, the ranged stun trap only from an Archer, and Giga Chain from a Lancer. It's worth mentioning that if properly executed, Giga always leads into a wombo combo of stuns and damage, so it's very useful if you do not get caught in the Giga with your team to cleanse them out of it after the Giga debuff has expired to ensure they can escape. Kaya's shield is your oh shit button, and should be used primarily to save someone that you don't think that you can heal in time with just a heal skill. It can also be used for the same reason on yourself because it applies slightly faster than self-heal. It also protects you from being staggered and knocked down while the shield holds. The final hit that breaks the shield also does not stagger or knock down. The stagger and knockdown protection can also be used on your team if they're close to a kill to protect them from being interrupted with staggers. Divine Respite is your secondary oh shit button. It will keep you alive very well unless dispelled. Divine Respite is affected by healing debuff skills, and if you apply it while a healing debuff is on you, it will heal for a reduced amount for the entire duration, even if you dispel the debuff. Even then it still heals for quite a bit though. Because of its long cast time, I recommend only using this if your self-heal is on cooldown already and you still need heals, or if you use it ahead of time if you know that you're about to be bursted. Arise is a very situational skill that should only be used if you see a target getting knocked down multiple times in a row. Unless that's the case, I typically don't use it because everyone has their own retaliate, and if you arise somebody who's trying to retaliate, they'll probably spacebar and jump up into the air, only to get knocked down again for jumping. It can be useful though to get a team member back up if they have no retaliate, so that they can either escape or secure a kill. Energy Stars is the most easy of the three utility skills to execute. It doesn't require good timing or multiple lock-ons to be effective. Simply use it every time you can get a chance on any target that's in range, and your teammates become a lot more deadly. Plague of Exhaustion is best used early in a match, especially against Priest teams, to remove the buffs from the entire enemy team, and then use it continuously throughout the match once the enemy team has been rebuffed. If you can only get 1 or 2 targets with this early, try to land it on the enemy DPS if you're worried about them. Against Mystic teams, it can be used to remove the Thrall Endurance buff. It doesn't hurt to remove the Endurance buff on all 3 targets, but it's most important to at least land Plague on the target your team expects to kill. Sleep can be used to turn a 3v3 match into a 2v3 for a little while if you use it when it's likely to not be broken or cleansed. Sleeping an enemy has a very high priority if it looks like your team is about to do a lot of damage or if the enemy is already low on health. But I would advise you to use your sleep anytime that you feel that you can safely cast it on a target that's out of position and is likely to sit in a full duration sleep. This can cause a lot of pressure for the enemy team. Sometimes you can sleep an enemy that's being focused by an ally if you let them know soon enough that you want to sleep them. If your team is trying to kill the enemy healer, try to sleep a DPS that's good at peeling or interrupting, such as Lancer or Archer. I don't recommend trying to sleep a warrior because they have too many easy escapes. If your team is trying to kill a DPS, it's almost always most effective to sleep the enemy healer. One advanced tip for sleeping enemy healers is to watch for when they have already used backstep or teleport jaunt, and try to sleep then. An even more advanced tip is to predict when they are about to use an escape, and time your sleep to land as soon as their invincibility frames are finished. If the enemy healer is stunned or knocked down, they will almost always use one of these skills at their earliest possible opportunity. So you can plan ahead and land your sleep before they can do anything else, or otherwise incapacitate them with a knockdown. Speaking of knockdowns, if you can, then use your knockdown as a follow-up to your sleep. Only do this if you don't need to heal or cleanse right away, and if you feel that you can get in position for a knockdown without putting yourself or your team in danger. In general, Guardian Sanctuary should be used whenever you have to put yourself in a dangerous position, or if you're being attacked and are in a situation that it's imperative that you don't get stunned, either because you'll likely die from a stun combo, or because a teammate desperately needs a heal. I usually Guardian Sanctuary if I have to put myself in a dangerous position to rebuff or heal circle my team, but you don't always need to. It depends on the enemy comp. If I have to run in range of a Warrior Cascade, Mystic Fear, or Lancer Giga, I'll almost always use Guardian Sanctuary if it's available. Pay close attention to this clip. When I run into Giga range, I Guardian Sanctuary and it baits the Giga. Not only that, but it also baits a sleep from both the healer and the sorcerer. Guardian Sanctuary is a very effective tool for baiting enemies into wasting cooldowns. Another good use for Guardian Sanctuary is to assist you in resurrecting a dead ally. Use Kaya's shield first, then Guardian Sanctuary, then resurrect. The Kaya's shield will protect you from stagger and knockdowns as long as the shield holds, and the Guardian Sanctuary will protect you from stuns. If you can though, sleep the enemy healer before you try to resurrect if they're in position to dispel Kaya's and Guardian Sanctuary, because a dispel will most likely cause the resurrect to fail. Until now, all of the tips given have been very general and applicable in most situations, because they all relate to knowing the priest class. Knowing only the priest class, however, is not good enough and won't get you very far. To really be successful in 3v3, you need to know every class inside and out, and be able to counter their strategies against you. As a priest, an enemy priest is the least threatening class to you in terms of preventing you from doing your job. Their largest threat towards you comes from their sleep. The important thing to know about a priest's sleep is that the animation is very misleading, as the sleep debuff does not apply until a little bit after the projectile has already reached your character and disappeared. If you're trying to dodge for when it looks like the projectile will hit you, then you're dodging too early and will be slept after your backstep has finished. The best thing you can do to get used to dodging priest sleep is to ask another priest to practice with you in a duel. Mystics are a greater threat to you than priests are. Their most effective crowd control ability on you is Fear. The debuff for Fear applies instantly once it has been cast. If a Mystic is in range for Fear, I'll either Guardian Sanctuary or hug the nearest pillar if it's not available. The Mystic sleep also lands faster than the priest sleep, making it more difficult to dodge because you have to react faster. Fortunately, this is one skill where the animation is actually a good indicator of when to dodge. If you're in a dodge animation when it looks like the projectile is about to strike you, then you're probably safe. Practice dodging Mystic sleeps in duels. The Mystic Stun Ball also has a quick animation that can take very fast reaction to dodge. Most often I've seen it used in the middle of a crowd control chain, but it can be used to initiate one as well. The most threatening skill that a sorcerer can use against you is their sleep. Most commonly, they'll simply throw an ice needle and then try to sleep you. Whenever you see an ice needle, you should always be on guard and prepared to dodge a sleep. If you do get slept by a sorcerer and the sorcerer starts walking towards you, or teleporting towards you, then immediately call for help. A good sorcerer can solo you in a stun trap combo. Archers, like Sorks, can also solo you if they're uninterrupted when they perform their combo. Fortunately, the Archer combo is easier to avoid. An Archer can only solo you if he can kick you for a stun, and he can only do that if he's in melee range. Just to be safe, try not to get in melee range of an Archer, but if an Archer is dangerously close to you, backstep immediately for invulnerability frames. If you do get kicked though, call for help immediately. Don't mess around because a good Archer will kill you. A Slayer's deadliest weapon against a Priest is a backstab. You have a few options when hit with a Slayer backstab. The safest is to probably use a Guardian Sanctuary immediately to protect from being stunned. The second option is to jump immediately after being backstabbed. If you jump, their next attack will knock you down, preventing you from being stunned. Warriors usually rely on backstab to initiate their stun combo to kill a priest. Try not to use Fiery Escape or Retaliate near a warrior if they are chasing you because they'll proc his counter stun ability, which makes the stun combo longer. A warrior will likely backstab you if you've gained some distance from the warrior and they can't catch up, or at any time if he has counter stun available. If a warrior is chasing you in either of these cases, try to jump up and down often so that if you get backstabbed while you're in the air, you'll get knocked down rather than stunned. Also use Guardian Sanctuary every cooldown if you need to heal. Kaya's shield will save you from staggers for a short time so that you can heal as well. Berserkers can one-shot a priest easily, especially with energy stars if they can hit your back with an evasive smash. If you see a berserker use the evasive roll animation, then unless you're confident that you're not in range, turn your face to them so that they can't get back damage. The other annoying thing berserkers can do is not charge their thunder strikes and only use them to put you into knockdown chains. If you do get knocked down and have to use retaliate, try to immediately create some distance from the berserker and dodge their following knockdowns, at least until you have retaliate again. The main threat Lancers pose to a priest comes from Giga Chain. Lancers usually don't focus you, so at every given moment, try to be out of their Giga range. If you heal from your maximum focus heal range, you should be out of range for Giga. If you do have to enter Giga range, however, use